Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Marcus.
I'm Ryan.
And together, we are the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you guys with another video. This time, we're going to go over Game 3 preview.
Yeah, should be an excellent game. We've been seeing kind of the Dubs kind of impose their will on Cleveland, and we're going to have to wait and see if they can punch back today.
All right. And also, we have some breaking news, as well as one Major League Baseball player had a game for the record books.
A hell of a game.
All right, so let's start with the Game 3 preview. It's going on tonight, right?
Right, so Warriors at the Cavs, Game 3, 6 p.m. on ABC.
And one of the things that I've been seeing online and, all the research that we do is which role players will step up for the Cavs tonight.
Right, so obviously J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, Kyle Korver, the list kind of goes on and on. But they're definitely going to need some production because they've been putting up the goose egg milk carton stats in the first two games.
Of course. And game one, besides Love, Kyrie, and LeBron, the others scored 24 points, right?
Okay.
Game two, they did a little better, 38 points.
Okay, not too bad, not too shabby.
But you're losing each game by 20. So for them to be at least in the game, they need at least 50 to 60 from the others.
All right, so a shocking stat as we watch J.R. Smith do his thing. Tyronn Lue is going to stick with the struggling shooter. Check this out. 3 points in 2 games.
Wow.
1 for 6 shooting. Now, I had to kind of rub the dust out of my eyes to see if that stat was correct, if it was for 1 game or for 2.
Is that the wrong JR?
That is the wrong JR. But when he comes home, he is definitely going to step it up. Last year in Game 3, JR came back with a vengeance, and he scored 20 points. So they're going to need almost a repeat performance from him if they're going to want to extend this series. Not sure if they can win the championship, but for pride, for Cleveland, and just to keep this series going, he's going to have a huge game.
Yeah, not only J.R. Smith, but as you know, they are going home. Players play better at home. J.R. Smith makes 42% of his three-pointers at home. On the road, only 28%.
Yeah, so I don't know really what the cause of really that stat is. Is he just not getting the ball? When he does get the ball, is he just looking to dish rather than being aggressive? LeBron has been, doing his job, right. But JR needs to assert himself, especially if Tyronn Lue is going to keep him in the starting lineup.
And it's not all JR. You have to go to Tristan Thompson as well. They signed you to a huge deal. You wanted all of this money. You held out. They gave you the money. But when you come back in the most important games of the season, to end the finals, and in 2 games, you putting up 8 points and 8 rebounds,
right?
That's definitely not going to cut it.
Right, and especially when you're going to have to go against JaVale McGee and kind of body him up. They need to have him at 10 points, 10 boards minimum to stay competitive, especially when JaVale McGee gets less minutes. And when he gets in there, it seems like he's more productive. Obviously, he's got better role players around him to feed him the ball, give him alley-oops like Kevin Durant did so many times in the first couple games. But we definitely need to see Tristan Thompson do something to be able to extend this series.
And I don't just want to just leave it on them two. There's others as well.
Okay.
Kyle Korver, 1 for 6 from 3-point range, 8 total points in the whole series, 16% from 3 after you shot 48% during the regular season.
Yeah, they picked him up for a reason. He was the good spot-up shooter. He can shoot threes, decent free throw shooter. But he hasn't really got a whole lot of playing time, and obviously being down by 15 or 20, almost throughout the whole game, and that'll do it for you. But we'll have to see if they make it an issue to press and give him the ball and actually, penetrate and dish. LeBron is one of the best in the league to do that. So we'll have to wait and see if, Kyle Korver can spot up, have his feet underneath him, and if he can actually knock down a few threes.
All right. And also Mr. D. Will. My bad. The D. Will was 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, with Carlos Boozer.
You're Deron Williams now.
Right. Yeah.
33 minutes, 0 for 9, 0 points. They brought you in to give them some depth, to give them a little backup point guard help, but behind Kyrie, and you haven't given them nothing.
Right. And as far as speaking of Kyrie hasn't really played to the expectations of one of the best point guards, arguably with the best handles in the NBA.
Right.
Obviously making the game-winning shot in Game 7 last year to give him the title. But Kyrie really needs to assert himself. I'm not sure if they're going to have to slow down the tempo, maybe a little bit more half-court basketball. But he hasn't really been able, really personally, he's been getting kind of worked by Steph Curry, because if you think about it, both players aren't the greatest at defense.
Right.
You know, they're kind of more offensive, players. They're not really like John Wall, where they're, good on both sides of the ball. But I feel that Kyrie's kind of selling himself short. You know what I mean? They just kind of get punched in the mouth and they just kind of hang their heads. Now at home, they have no excuse for it. The crowd is going to be going crazy. They're going to be waving the towels. They're going to be lit. So he's going to have to assert himself right out the gates. And it wouldn't surprise me if he gets off to maybe, somewhere between 8 to 14 points within that first half and really starts to assert himself, maybe a few and ones just to get him going.
So for me, I think Kyrie will have a bigger impact at home. He'll be Uncle Drew.
Right.
And that's what LeBron needs. He doesn't need Kyrie Irving. He needs Uncle Drew. Historically, Kyrie averages 9 more points at home than on the road. He shoots 10% better from the field. And also he makes 8 more percent from 3. So the stats don't lie. He's a better player at home. So you think he'll have a bigger impact tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, between Kyrie, JR, and Tristan Thompson, like we mentioned, they have to get at least a combined 50 to 60 points between those 3 guys if they really want to extend this series. Because if those 3 combine for 40 or less, they're in trouble. I mean, unless LeBron goes off for 50 or 60, and I don't think that's very likely. But they're going to have to definitely do it. Now, check this out. If the Warriors win tonight and they go 15-0, they are going to pass the 1992-93 Pittsburgh Penguins for most consecutive playoff wins by any major sports professional team in history.
Wow, what's that? Mario Lemieux?
Yeah, Mario Lemieux back in that day.
Jaromir
Jagr. So I mean, that's crazy. That's the number. And if they win, obviously tonight, one more game and they get the sweep, they have the record all to themselves. One thing I just want to mention about obviously the Dubs, and obviously the Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant, he's the hero, he's the Superman, he's the X Factor.
Tarantula.
Right? The Tarantula, right? 71 points through so far in the series. Right.
He replaced who though last year?
Right. Harrison Barnes. I can't even say his name right now. Okay. He got replaced by obviously Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes got a max contract, went to Dallas. He didn't deserve it. Booty O's, obviously, for Harrison Barnes. Check this out. He scored 65 points in the whole series. And Kevin Durant's already surpassed him by 6 in the first 2 games. So that's why we're seeing kind of Golden State impose their will. And I think that's why so many people have hopped on the Golden State bandwagon that think that they're going to be able to pull it off, because not only do they have Steph, they have Clay, they have Draymond, but now you have the second best player in the NBA, and in some circles, the best player in the NBA added to that roster.
So predictions for tonight. What's your prediction?
Well, man, it's going to be close. I think that obviously with the Kevin Durant factor, you have to factor that in. Last year's Game 3, the final score was 120-90. Cleveland kind of whooped them, stomped on them by 30. I don't see that happening today, but I do see Cleveland winning this game based off the home crowd. I feel the refs are going to dictate the tempo and dictate the game. I feel that maybe one of the superstars, Steph or Clay, Draymond or KD, will get in foul trouble. And maybe that'll help them kind of keep the game a little bit closer. But I do see Cleveland winning by somewhere between the 8 to 15 point range. It may be ugly at times. I think they'll start off strong and hot in the first half. But like we saw, obviously, in Game 1 and Game 2, where they kind of fluttered off and got blown out in the second half, I think Cleveland will be able to hang tough with that home crowd and with the adjustments that Tyronn Lue can make.
Me personally, I just don't see it. I mean, Cleveland is a great team, dominated the East on their way to the finals, but Golden State is just a different animal. I do believe the game will be a lot closer.
Right.
Like you said, it's going to be lit out there in Cleveland, in Believeland. They trying to get the back-to-back championships. One win for them could turn around the whole series, giving them a little bit of confidence, had the home crowd behind them. But I just don't see it. So I'm going to go Golden State. I don't think it'll be as high scoring as it was in Oakland. So I say both teams around the 100 to 110 range.
Yeah, I think Game 4 is really going to be the key game. But obviously, if you steal this game and you're up 3-0, you may have to grab the brooms, and we'll have that discussion on the next show.
Look, Nanny, get the sweeping out there.
Get the sweeping out there. We might have to do it.
All right, so there you have it, our Game 3 preview. What else is going on in the world of sports today? We got some breaking news.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL. Okay. So we talked about Jeremy Maclin, and that was a huge shocker.
Wow.
I don't think you or me really saw that coming.
No, I didn't.
And then obviously we had a few breaking stories, and all of a sudden we see on the ticker Eric Decker.
Wow.
So wide receiver for the Jets. Jets are just dumping their whole roster, right? Linebacker was a David Harris. They decided to dump. Now they're getting rid of Eric Decker. This guy, they're looking to trade him first, right? And then if they can't find a trade partner, which they won't, right? They're going to release him, which is really sad because arguably he is the best Caucasian white wide receiver in the NFL when he's healthy, right? Right. And this saves the Jets $5.75 million, which is really not a whole lot. I mean, this team is going to be a bottom 5 team in the NFL. They had a nice, decent draft, but I mean, besides that, I mean, they're really looking up at all the other teams. Injured reserve in October of 2016 season, really didn't get a chance to get going. He had a torn rotator cuff, and then after that had hip surgery, and then after that had an operation on his shoulder. So he had the triple threat, as you can say, with injuries, obviously last year with the injury bug.
Hey, he's beat the hell up. All right. Decker, man, he has a solid 7 years in the league so far, 385 receptions, over 5,000 yards, 13.6 yards per catch, which is actually pretty good, and 52 touchdowns. I mean, of course, if you're looking to pick him up, you want to make sure he's healthy. And with Decker, he's also a great number 2.
Right.
If you're looking for him to come in and be your number 1 receiver, you're looking at the wrong guy. If you look at some of his best years is when he was paired with another number 1 receiver, Brandon Marshall. In Denver, he had Demaryius Thomas. He had good years, man. 2015, 12 TDs, over 1,000 yards, 2014 as well. But then you had Peyton throwing him the ball.
Right.
So a good fit for him would be someone with a solid quarterback and also a bona fide number 1 receiver.
Right. And the thing is, he's got good size and good hands. It's just, can he stay healthy? So some of the upper echelon teams like New England, I don't think they're going to come calling. I mean, if they do, gosh, they just keep adding to that roster. So I guess it wouldn't really surprise me if he goes to a team like New England, but I feel that New England wants to go for guys that don't really have that kind of injury bug. So he may have to go a team maybe that is really in dire need of a wide receiver. So maybe look for like San Francisco 49ers, maybe to come calling, Cleveland Browns, maybe kind of some of those bottom feeder teams that need a lot of help. But if he can stay healthy, I really truly think that he could get you on the minimum, 500 to 800 yards receiving at the bare minimum, and maybe like 4 to 6 touchdowns on the upside. If he stays healthy for all 16 games, he can get you over 1,000 yards and get you maybe 8 to 10 touchdowns. So that definitely could take maybe a mediocre playoff team like Baltimore and then shoot him into the wild card if they can get someone like that and he can stay healthy.
All right, so there you have it. Some NFL breaking news on Eric Decker looking to be traded or released by the Jets. We'll keep you up to date, up to speed when that happens.
Absolutely.
We had a historical night last night in Major League Baseball.
Right, Major League Baseball, the Reds beat the Cardinals 13-1 last night. But that's not really the whole story. 5'10", 185-pound infielder claimed off waivers from the Brewers. Scooter Gennett did something that we haven't seen in a long time. What was that?
Yes, Scooter Gennett. He hit 4 home runs and also combined for 10 runs batted in. He went 5 for 5.
Right. So singled his first time up, and then he homered in the 3rd inning, the 4th inning, the 6th inning, and the 8th inning. So Scooter Gennett is doing something that we haven't really seen in quite some time. The last time we saw someone pull off a game like this was 2012 in May, and you may have heard of the guy that did it, last hitter to smash 4 home runs in a game, aka Josh Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton, great player, man. I miss Josh Hamilton. Scooter Gennett, Scooter, as I call him, Scoota, Scooter. He's the 17th player in Major League Baseball history to hit for 4 home runs in the game. I guess up to this point, he's kind of been sort of a journeyman throughout the Major League Baseball. So I hope this game can give him the confidence that he needs to push his career to the next level.
Right. Crazy stat. He only had 38 career home runs going into the game. So he hit obviously 3 home runs, pulled one of them. But the swing was pretty. It kind of reminded me of Griffey. I can't lie when I saw it. And, he's going against Adam Wainwright on the Cardinals.
Right,
so
no slouch there.
Right. So no slouch right there, pulling it off to the opposite side of the field. I believe that was his home run in the 6th inning. That's just beautiful right there. And you best believe that jersey and those cleats went to Cooperstown, and he's going to be a part of the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's probably not going to have a Hall of Fame career, but he had a Hall of Fame game last night, and that was awesome to see. I'm not sure if we're going to see another 4 home run game in this season, but I'm glad we got to experience it last night. And as you check this last home run, I believe here in the 8th inning, bye.
See
back,
ya.
back.
Gone.
Gone.
All right. So all eyes are on you now, Mr. Scooter Gennett. So this is your time to shine. Everybody is going to be looking to see what you do next. I don't expect you to hit 4 home runs again, but we do want to see a little bit more consistency because you spoiled us, man.
Right. Hopefully he's not on any PEDs or they have
Uh-oh.
to do some kind of drug testing on him. All of a sudden the guy comes out of nowhere, hits 4 home runs. But, we'll have to wait and see. But that was a hell of a game last night. So we definitely had to talk about that since we haven't seen something like that in 5 years.
All right. Hats off to Scooter on a great accomplishment last night.
Right.
And last but not least, some breaking news from the college football rankings.
All right. So in college football ranks, we had a very shocking story that broke just about an hour or two ago. Bob Stoops, right? Head coach from Oklahoma stepping down. I couldn't believe this when I read it. He's going to be succeeded by 33-year-old Lincoln Riley. He was the O coordinator in the last 2 years. Man, this is just so crazy. What do you think about Bob Stoops? I mean, this guy really built the Oklahoma program. I can't even think of anybody before him.
Yeah, you got to go way, way back. I had to do a little research on that. You have to go to Bud Wilkinson and Barry Switzer.
Man, long time coming, way back then.
Wow, before Bob Stoops. Bob Stoops, man, his when I think of Bob Stoops, I think of some of the offenses that he put together. He kind of helped popularize the spread offense with the quarterback back there in the shotgun. He's produced many NFL stars. He will be missed, and he was only one of 5. Well, it's only 4 coaches now. So I guess he was one of 5 coaches to actually win a national championship. He's in great company. You go, Nick Saban has 5, Urban Meyer 3, Dabo Swinney 1, and Jumbo Fisher 1.
Right. So it kind of shows the parity in college football. But let's run down the stats. Why is this guy Hall of Fame bound in the college ranks and one of the best coaches of all time? Longest tenured coach in college football, 18 years. I love it. I don't love it him stepping down. So what does that mean for the recruits that he just signed? Are they going to transfer now? I mean, it's going to be one of those things. Oklahoma's program will still be in good shape, but a lot of these kids, they went because of who? Bob Stoops. 10 conference championships in 18 years.
Wow.
Won the Natty in 2000. Yep. Now check this record out. 190 wins. Check it. 190 and only 48 losses. Oh. That's freaking incredible. Check this out. And he took the Sooners to bowl games in every season that he was head coach. 18 for
straight.
18.
18 straight.
18 straight.
Wow.
I don't know how many coaches would be able to do that. I mean, obviously, with the recruiting that Oklahoma gets, it is kind of believable. But you would think that you would have a down year, maybe a 7-5 or maybe a 6-6 year somewhere sprinkled in there. But it was yet to be seen. 14 season with double-digit wins, including 11-2 record in 2016, which is incredible. A 798 winning percentage. So he won essentially 79 to 80% of his games that he coached. 121-29 in Big 12 play, which is freaking amazing. And he ranks 4th in FBS coaches in wins.
Wow. Yeah, he's headed to the College Football Hall of Fame for sure. One of the best coaches. Like I said, he kind of revolutionized the game going with that spread offense. When I think of him, his name, I think of Steve Spurrier and Bobby Bowden. Kind of pops in my head. Yeah, kind of old school. Oh man, like I said, he will be missed, man. I know a lot of Big 12 coaches are kind of happy.
Oh yeah. You best believe that Texas rivalry now, they're probably just jumping up and down, excited that maybe they'll be able to punch Oklahoma in the mouth. But it wouldn't shock me if Oklahoma still ends up being very strong. Obviously, the O coordinator, Lincoln Riley, I think will do a decent job. And he's only 33 years old. So that's kind of like in our wheelhouse, a little bit younger, a little bit different maybe than what maybe the traditional coaches looked at age-wise. But as you've seen, some of these younger guys, Lane Kiffin, some of these younger guys can actually find a way to get it done. Kyle Shanahan. So just because you're young doesn't mean you don't have the knowledge or can't do it. So look for Oklahoma to be having a great season. But shout out to Bob Stoops. You had a great career, and hopefully you enjoy retirement. He'll probably be on the golf course somewhere.
All right. So there you guys have it. Our Game 3 preview.
Should be a hell of a game tonight.
Man,
I'm telling you, the Cavs are going to win tonight. I'm telling you.
No, Dub's too much for him. Salute to Mr. Bob Stoops on a retirement. We'll keep you updated on the Eric Decker situation.
Macklin as well.
Macklin as well. And also congrats to my guy, Scooter,
Gennett.
All right. We'll be back at you guys with a video real soon. I'm Marcus. This is Orion. Only got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us?
Northwest Sports Fanatics.